we are going to be subtracting integers. Whenever we add or subtract integers, one of the things that I want you to know is that whenever I have a positive 1, I'm going to use the plus sign. Or whenever I have a negative 1, I'm going to use this other symbol, which is the minus sign. If I have a positive and a negative, it means that they will cancel each other out. And you're going to see how that is going to work. For now, I'm going to start by rewriting number 4. And now, because we're subtracting, I'm going to change the minus sign into the plus sign. But you also want to change the number that is next to it. The sign of the number is negative, is going to turn into positive. So I don't have to worry about the signs here. All of them are positive. So I'm going to just go ahead and add it up. And that's how I'm going to get 10. The answer should be positive 10. Okay. And for the next one, I have negative 3. So I'm going to write negative 3. And I'm going to change the minus sign to the plus sign. And you also want to change the sign of the number that is next to it. It used to be negative. Now it's going to turn into positive. Now, to get the answer, I'm going to count how many negatives I have. I have 3 of them. So I'm going to write 1, 2, 3 negatives. And to this, I'm going to be adding 2 positives, 1 and 2. Positive and negative will cancel each other out. So you see this? They cancel. So that is going to be 0. The answer is whatever is going to be left over outside the box. So the answer should be then negative 1. Okay. The next one. For the next one, I have negative 2. And to this, I'm going to be subtracting uh, 5. But remember, we never subtract. We're going to change the minus sign into the plus sign. And 5 is positive. I'm going to change it to negative 5. Now, remember, if this number 5 is going to be negative, you're going to see it inside the parentheses like this one. Because it's not inside the parentheses, that means that 5 is positive. That's why when I change the minus sign into the plus sign, I have to change the sign of the number that is next to it. That means that this number now is going to be negative 5. Well, out of this, I'm going to rewrite it this way. I have 2 negatives, 1 and 2. And to this, I'm going to be adding 5 more negatives. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now remember, positive and a negative will cancel each other out. Here, all of them are negatives, so nothing cancels. That means that the answer should be 5, 6, 7. So the answer should be then negative 7. Okay. The next one. So I have 5, and then we're going to change the minus sign into the plus sign, and you also want to change the sign of the number that is next to it. It used to be negative, now turns into positive. Here we don't have to worry about writing the plus or minus sign because all of them are positive. So we know the answer should be positive 7. Okay. On the next one, 2 is positive. Okay. And we're going to change the minus sign to the plus sign, and then we're going to change the sign of this number. I'm going to start by rewriting negative 4, changing the minus sign to the plus sign, and then 2, it used to be positive, then it's going to change into negative 2. Okay? And now I'm going to write the equal sign, And then I'm gonna write how many negatives I have. I have four of them. One, two, three, four. And to these, I'm gonna be adding two more negatives, one and two. Okay? Only a positive and a negative cancel each other out. In this case, nothing cancels. All of them are negative. So the answer should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer then should be negative 6. Remember, we never subtract. We always going to change the minus sign to the plus sign. Okay? So now for the next one, I have 3. I'm going to be changing the minus sign into the plus sign. And you also going to change the sign of the number that is next to it. It used to be negative, turns into positive. Okay? So here I don't have to worry about using the symbols, right? Because all of them are positive. And it's very easy to tell that all what you have to do is add them up, right? And we have done this since elementary school. 5 plus 3, that would be 8. That's how you get the answer. Okay? Let's do the next one. I have minus 2, so I'm going to rewrite it. And then I'm going to change the minus sign into the plus sign. 4 is positive. Okay, if it's negative, you're going to see it inside the parentheses. So I'm going to change the minus sign into the plus sign. And 4, it used to be positive, now turns into negative 4. Okay, and now I'm going to use the symbols. I have negative 2, 1, and 2. Let me change the sign also, the color of the equal sign. Okay, so then I have negative 2, that will be negative 2, and to this I'm gonna be adding negative 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now the answer, can you see that all of them are negative? Nothing cancels. So we're just gonna count how many negatives we have. 3 and 3, that will be negative 6. That is the answer. For the next one, I have negative 3. I'm going to change the minus sign into the plus sign. And I will also change the sign of the number that is next to it. It used to be negative, now turns into positive. Okay. And then I have to write how many negatives I have. I have 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And to this, I'm going to be adding 3 positives. 1, 2, and 3. Now, remember, positive and negative will cancel each other out. So that means that all of this cancels. So you get 0. Okay, because all of them cancel, then you get 0. The next one, we are not going to subtract. We're going to change the minus sign to the plus sign. And then we're going to change the sign of the number that is next to it. So if I change this into the plus sign, I will change also the sign of the number that is next to it. So that is going to be positive 4. And this will be only 4 plus 2. So what we're going to get is going to be positive 6. Remember, when it's positive, we don't write the sign. Okay. And now let's do the last one. So I have negative 1. We never subtract. I'm going to change the minus sign to the plus sign. And I will change the sign of the number that is next to it. This number is negative, now turns into positive. And now I have one negative, and to this, I'm gonna be adding, let me change the color, okay? I'm gonna be adding um, negative 1, oh, negative. There it goes. Okay, one more time. So you have the one negative, that's the one. And to this, I'm gonna be adding three positives. One, two, and three. Positive and negative, they will cancel each other out. So this is gonna be zero, it's gonna cancel. And the answer is gonna be positive two. And that's how we get the answer.